Hey guys, it's Simone here, and I wanted to talk to you guys about per person averages and why they are important to your business. Now, this is something that we kind of have talked about as a team in the past, and I have talked to some team leaders about this previously, but I wanted to make sure that I kind of addressed it with all of you guys. So we are lacking a little bit in this training, so I hope that you guys hopefully this makes sense for you guys. This is how we look at a lot of leaders, this is how a lot of leaders look at their businesses and their team numbers and their company numbers and all that fun stuff. And this is actually what I recommend. This is what I like to do for basically anybody that is hoping to hit team numbers, whether to maintain or to promote. But it's very simple, and what you want to do is you want to look at what your goal is for your team that month. So say you are a Pink Plus One or hoping to promote to Pink Plus One, then you want your team volume to be at least 2,000, right? So you want to take, basically the way that you look at it is you take what your goal is that month, and let's talk about, so if you're a Pink Plus One, then you're going to take that 2,000 team volume that you're looking for that month, and you will then divide it by the number of people in your team. Now, you can very easily see the number of people in your team in your virtual office. You should be looking at your virtual office daily if you can, and this is where a lot of you want to take a look at. Like, Facebook is really great and all that fun stuff, but our virtual offices are our biggest business tools. You want to make sure that you're looking at your summaries, your downline reports, and really seeing where you are, where you what you need to hit your next goal, where your team members are at, and like kind of look at that. But basically, you want to take your team volume goal for that month and divide it by the number of people in your team. So, for example, if you had 4 people in your team, okay, and you are hoping to maintain or promote to Pink Plus One, then you would take that 2,000, right, and divide it by 4. So 2,000 divided by 4 is 500. So then each person, so your per person average for the team would be 500 per person, right? Now, if not every single person on your team is able to hit those numbers, whether that's because they are not quite there yet, or maybe they are more of a social seller, then what does that mean for you? That means that you need more people on your team, right? You want to bring that per person average down so that it's doable for everybody, right? Now, this doesn't mean that every single person needs to have PV in for you to hit your goal, obviously, right? So another example of this is, say you have 10 people on your team, okay? 10 people on your team, and you're trying to maintain or promote to Pink Plus One. Then every single person, so then your per person average for that month, that your goal for your per person average that month is 200, right? So 200 is qualified. That is totally doable, right? But if you're the team leader and you're hoping to hit monthly award, right? Or you're wanting, as a team leader and to maintain, you want to at least have 500 PV, right? To be a team. That's your team building goal, correct? So in that case, you alone will already hit that at least 5,000 or 1,000, depending on what your goal is for the month, which means that your per person average is going to go down as you hit that PV mark, right? Because if you already are taking care of 500, that means that you've already done 2.5 per people, right? Per person, whatever. Your numbers are already 2.5 people. According to your per person average, right? That means that's going to bring that number down. So in that case, when we look at like Premier team numbers as a whole, and what I've posted for this month's incentive is our per person average. Now, this per person average is based on our numbers before any terminations or anything like that, but it's basically if every single person were to have PV in that month, that is how small of amount of PV that everybody would need to have in order for us to reach our team goal, our team volume, right? So it breaks it down so that it's very easy for everyone to see how important every single person is to the team, and how important every little bit counts, right? Like we have rock stars on the team that are doing huge numbers. We have people, the steady and consistent people who are just getting qualified every month, or hitting 500 every month, right? And then we have our social sellers who are here for the discount, and we love them, right? We love them because they are excited about Posh, they love the products, and they purchase enough that it's worth it for them to be a consultant, right? So maybe they're not hitting 200 every single month, but they are getting, orders in pretty regularly, right? Maybe 50 each month, right? To stay active. Then that kind of helps you see the importance of everybody's numbers, right? And why I wanted to do this incentive this month is to show you guys how important it is for all of us to work together to hit our team goal. Okay, now obviously our number is going to be higher, and then as everybody's PV goes in and I divide it amongst the number of team members that we have, that per person average is going to go down. And our goal is to get 0 per person. If we get to 0 per person, that means we've hit our goal, right? And so if you as a team leader are looking at this for your team numbers and you're wondering, like, what is this per person? How does this make any sense? Then that's what you want to be doing. So like I said, if you had 10 people on your team and you're trying to maintain or promote to Pink Plus One, your per person average at the beginning of the month will be 2,000 or 2,200 per person. And that average is going to go down. So you get your party in, a couple of other people get their orders in, then your team goal is already lower, right? Your 2,000 is already lower down, right? And so your goal is to get that number to 0. So it's our 0, and it's basically you want to be zeroed out. It's your 0 incentive and what you should be reaching for every single month. So if you have a small team and you're like wondering how you can maintain, really you'll notice that you want to have your team to be bigger, right? So that it's easier per person to hit this goal, and that everybody does something, right? That everybody gets some orders in and contributes to the team goal. So that is what the per person averages are, and why they're important is because a lot of us, I think a lot of us like to break it down to little chunks, right? So to look at like Pink Plus 2 as with 4,000 in PV, that's a little bit scary. You're like, how do I do that, right? If you break it down and think, well, it's doable if we can get so many people on our team, right, to have a per person average of like 100 or something like that, right? Then, and I'm just throwing out random numbers, but if you did something like that, then it's easier for you to see, well, okay, well, that makes sense, right? And like Susie Posh is pretty reliable, right? Because Susie Posh also has her team, and she always has 500 in PV every single month. So Susie Posh is totally going to be able to do that. And you can reach out to all your different team members and see, hey, you hit whatever this last month. What do you think about being able to hit this month? I think that's a good goal for you to be able to maintain, right? Maintaining and consistency is really, really important. I think that per person averages are just a really great way to look at things because, especially with if you're a new team leader and you're kind of figuring out how to run your team, how to run your personal business, and how to maintain, then if you look at your per person averages, that's going to be a really easy way for you to talk to your team members and your team leaders about what they've been able to do and how they can hit that goal again, right? So if they did 500 one month and that is the goal that you guys, you're working together and that's the goal you guys want to maintain again this month, 500 for her, then what does she need to do it? How many samples does she need to get out there? How many people does she need to talk to? How many parties? How many orders? And kind of break it down from there. So that's kind of why I like the per person and how I feel like it really helps you kind of break it down into steps. And if you are goaling for Premier, which I hope that some of you guys are like really feeling like that is something that is within your sights, because you never know. And honestly, like a lot of us premieres, we didn't know that we were gonna hit it, and it was really like something that I never thought would ever happen, and here we are, right? So as a premiere, one of the things that I love looking at is that it's 20,000 in company and team volume, right? And that is very daunting. However, if you think about it, that really is only 10 Pink Plus One teams, right, in your downline. And Pink Plus One is a very doable, like it's a lot easier. It's a sizable chunk that you can totally like get your mind wrapped around, right? And 10, that means that you need to build your team wide. And one of the things is that to have more team members and the thing that to be able to grow your team, like, yes, I'm saying all this and you're like, well, I can't even grow a team. Like, how the heck am I going to do that? Then I do recommend that you guys take a look at proactive recruiting or intentional recruiting or team building. Those words are interchangeable, right? And really just taking a look at the people that you know, the customers that you know, and really ask yourself, have you really talked to them? Have you presented the opportunity with them? And honestly, like it is so simple. It's as simple as asking them, have you ever thought about joining Posh? You know, I think you'd love it because of the discount. I think you'd love it because of the, you know what I mean? Like, personalize it. Actually reach out and be like, hey, I think you would actually really love this, or I'd love to have you on my team. What, like, I think you'd be great. I think you'd enjoy it. I think, like, why would they want to look at the opportunity? And it's really up to you to take that step and talk to them about it, because it's very likely they've never even thought about it, or they think they'd suck at it, or there's something else that they're not really sure about, right? So really take that step and ask them and really present them with the opportunity, because you don't want to miss that chance and you want to give them the best deal. So if the best deal is to be a consultant, then let them know. The worst they can say is no, right? But it's not going to be a deal breaker. Maybe that's going to be no, not right now, or I'll have to think about it, or you know what, I actually have thought about it and I've really been having questions, but I just haven't reached out to you, right? So basically, yeah, so ask. Take the opportunity and ask. Seize the opportunity, right? But yeah, so do you guys have any questions about per person averages, or how else you might want to look at your team numbers? Okay. Great, awesome. I am really excited to do this per person with you guys this month, and I hope that this helps you guys see a little bit more of how to break down your own teams and your own downline and your own goals, because it's going to be a little bit, I know it's like totally counterintuitive where you're like, wait, we're supposed to go down in numbers, right? But hopefully you guys can kind of get an understanding of this and kind of see why we want to do that, and then maybe hopefully that will transfer into your own business so that you guys can do it as well with your own numbers. Yes, we need, if you want to talk about team building and you really want to, you have to be honest with yourself and just have you made the list? Have you talked to anybody, right? Like, who have you really talked to? Have you really presented the option? And you can't go into it like, oh, you probably aren't interested, but like if you come out with negatives, then yeah, that's what you're implanting. But if you come out as, hey, I would think that you would be amazing, then that's a positive, right? It's like saying, it's the same thing as when you're talking to anybody about Posh, right? You're not going to be like, oh, well, there's this thing, and I don't know if you're going to like it, but like if you already come across like that, they're not going to be interested. They're going to be like, okay, well then why are you talking about it, right? So keep that enthusiasm up, the positivity up, and you never know what's going to happen. So I'm going to jump off. I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you guys do have any questions about this, let me know, and I will be jumping on later on this week to just discuss more business stuff and try to get some more trainings in there. So if you guys want to see trainings on anything else, be sure to let me know, and I will be sure to get it together and talk to you guys about it. So I'm going to talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful, wonderful month. It is Monday, July 2nd, so we have a full month ahead of us, and I am really excited to kind of see what we have going on. So we have UnCon coming up, and And I know there's going to be some really fun stuff announced then, so I'm excited. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful day.